Good evening. Good evening. Welcome once again to another episode of All Over It podcast. We are uncovering it all as per usual. Today we are on episode 16. Just building and growing and working our way up, Just climbing the steps, climbing the ladder, climbing the elevator just now. Yeah. So that's how things are start now. That's momentum. It starts slow, just like compound interest. It'll start slow and start small, but when it start to build up, it will take off. Anyways, good night, good night, good night, good night. God bless. God bless all you on this evening, Monday, August 18th, 2025. All over it, episode 16. Today we're gonna be talking about business, which for me, I always talking about business. I love talking about business. Business is a very important. A lot of people have negative thoughts towards business, but I would say today I hope to refute some of those old myths or change some of those old thought processes. Show people like, yeah, business is a good thing, a positive thing for you, your community, your family, your friends, everybody around. Yeah. Anyways, we're going to start as usual with a little welcome announcement. As usual, let's ask everybody, send a little comment in the chat. Let me know who they are. Let me know who watching. I could see people watching, but I can't see who watching. So if you send a little comment in the chat, I could pick you up, shout you out. Like Josiah Williams. Thanks for joining. Shout out. Thanks for the support. Mary Williams, my mother. Yeah, that's love. That's love. Don't know. Love you. Ayo! Big up! Yeah. Welcome, Siobhan. We got Siobhan Kelly in the chat. Yeah. Big up yourself. Shout out. Whoop, whoop. My fellow Toastmasters member. Both of us are club officers in our club. God bless. God bless us on this road, this journey that we on. But yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks a lot for the support. It's love. Don't know. But yeah, welcome to everybody. Thank you for joining. Like I always say, without you is no all over it podcast. I'll just be here talking to myself. So I thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking the time out. Thank you for allowing me into your house, into your car, wherever I am being listened to currently. I appreciate it. Love. We're growing. If I haven't already, like and subscribe on my YouTube. Probably done a friend on Facebook. And yeah, we're trying to grow this YouTube channel and just keep pushing this content and keep sharing and helping us grow and motivate each other and inspire each other to keep pushing, keep striving for our dreams and achieving our goals. That's what it's all about. So like I was saying last episode, if any local brands that I think I should be rocking, let me know, because earlier on in the podcast, I was strictly wearing local brands and I will shout them out and things. So I do a lot of marketing here for a lot of different companies. Now, people don't even know I hear marketing the business. But anyways, that's the point for right now. Anyways, if I know anybody, any good local brands, let me know. Anything interesting, send a direct message or in the chat, anything. Let me know. But yeah, today we back on another portion of our financial literacy series, whereas we're gonna be talking about business. About 2-3 episodes ago, I started on this journey, whereas I started talking about different financial investment avenues, different ways you could invest your money. Let me just say it straight like that. So I decided after I do that general overview to do an episode on each. So I had one already talking about mindset, because your mind gotta be in the right place if you want to really grow your finances, and especially on a certain level. You have to have a growth mindset, or a certain mindset, positive mindset, in order for you to win in this rat race, I call it, in this game called life. It ain't easy. So you gotta know what to do, how you could maneuver and row your boat to the finish line. I touch on some great books that I think everybody should check out. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Richest Man in Babylon, a lot of different things. If you haven't yet, I recommend you go check out those previous episodes. The last 2 to 3 episodes are on the financial literacy series. Pero good content. Everything is good content from one straight up. I promise you that. Had a nice one about my trip to Borneo. A lot of good content. Pero a lot of great things coming. So I gotta say this before I continue in my announcements. Next week, the 25th of August, will be my first interview. God bless. Within the financial literacy series, I organized an interview with a surprise guest on dividends. Someone I know who is very heavily invested in dividends, basically lives off of dividends solely currently. So this is going to be a good one next week. I don't think you want to miss it. Share it with your friends, anybody you know that interested in bettering the financial situation. Share it with them. Not only you, don't save and hoard the wealth for yourself. No, you got to share the wealth too. Yeah. But yeah, love alone. Like I said, today we're talking about business, but before I get into that, as usual, I have a motivational message, but today's motivational message is very short, like literally a few lines, not like the others. And for my motivational message today, I just want to say, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Keep trying. Consistency is key when you trying to reach to your goals. Whether it's starting a business, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's fixing your car, fixing whatever you aspire to repair. Everything starts with a plan, and there is always a level of difficulty. But if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. When there's a will, there's a way. Maybe the way you tried, it didn't work at first, but try another way. Like did I say, there's a million ways to skin a cat. Also, like they say, nothing good comes easy. So if you really want this, if this is something that it ain't just mediocre, it ain't just a simple whim or a small want that might fade soon. This is something you really passionate about, really want. Go for it. Because sometimes you have to go through a little turmoil in order to reach the promised land, in order to reach the Garden of Eden. Whereas you could sit down and enjoy lusciousness, the fruits of your labor, sit down in serenity and tranquility, just relax after all the hard work you put in. And you could look back and say, bah, yeah, I do that now. And honestly, if you didn't go through the turmoil, you wouldn't appreciate the wealth and riches and the rewards that you receive afterward. Just like the Hebrews in the desert for 40 years. They wander, a long time to be wandering, but they eventually reach the promised land that they had to reach. So don't be discouraged. There is a time for everything, and everything there is a season. Like Joseph, left for dead, sold into slavery, to rise to power, controlling a whole empire. Your time will come. Just have faith and prepare yourself for it. And remember, if at first you don't succeed, try again. And that's my motivational message to you today. If at first you don't succeed, try again. So yeah, we going to be diving into things one time. I know why you come here to see. We're here to talk about how we can make money the best ways and the smartest ways possible. How the big dogs them to do it. Right? If anybody agree with that statement, just leave a little comment. Say, yeah, I agree. No, but on a real, let's be honest. What is it all about? It's about putting food on the table, providing for your family, your friends, your loved ones, the people around you, whether it is close or far, whether it's your immediate family or maybe it's just people in the community that you know and you care for. Maybe you just are community oriented, community minded, and you see people hurting, and that is something that you want to fix. Whatever it is, you have that drive, you have that passion, and I commend you for it. And we're here to talk about business. In my opinion, business is the best way to provide value to yourself, but also to the people around you. Because trust and believe, when you start a business, the point ain't to just create another job for yourself. No. The point is, when you create a business, you solving a problem for a group of people, your customers, your clients, whatever you want to call them. And eventually, once you're doing good business, you're going to need to bring on other staff. Okay. Nowadays, in this day and age, they got all kind of advancement in technology and AI and machinery and things. So maybe you could start a business that you could just sit down behind your computer and everything moving for itself. You don't got to hire nobody. But technically, people working for you still. Sure. But either ways, when you start a business, you creating jobs. And today, I'm going to dive into some different content, talk about the differences between starting a business versus buying an established business, because that is possible too. And in my opinion, that is a great way to get yourself into a level of financial freedom. Straight up. But apart from that, we're going to talk about benefits of being a business owner, why they have different tax incentives and all these things for business ownership, because a lot of people, okay, let me say like this. A lot of people, when they think on business owners, they think, oh, but yeah, them people just dodging taxes and they ain't paying taxes. I gotta pay taxes and or whatever situation. Let me say people might have a connotation that, yeah, them business owners, they just robbing people or whatever it be. Whatever different story or whatever different scenario, a lot of people have negative connotations, but there's reasons why business owners get different incentives because think on it this way. When you start your business, you, like I say, you need to hire people. So maybe there's 20 new jobs added to the market, the job market. Additionally, money making. So the company making money, you got to pay your employees. That's taxes getting paid there for sure, no matter what. Yeah, no, we just talked about it, but it's a fact of the matter. The difference is when you're working for it, the taxes coming out before you even get the money. When you use a business owner, you get your money up front. You get all money in. It's up to you now to make sure you go pay the tax man. So to a certain extent, yes, some people does deal with, let me say, the tax situation the wrong way. But one thing I could say too is a lot of people just don't know better. Like some people, maybe they are accustomed of working a job. So they are accustomed of, okay, when I get the money, it's done taxed. So everything that I get is mine. And technically, you still gotta file your taxes at the end of the month or end of the year, sorry. And depending on what you're getting, you still might still get taxed on top of what you're making when you're working a job. But some people, because they're accustomed of not paying taxes because of working a job, they just getting the taxes taken. When they now start owning a business, they don't know nothing about paying taxes. Let's be honest, we never really learn about taxation and paying taxes, even from like school days and thing. I just say that, like, in my opinion, a lot of these things I hear sharing should be taught from school days, maybe even primary school, if not high school alone. You know, a lot of these things about how to manage your money, how to deal with taxes, a lot of these things around finances and financial literacy should be mandatory education. Let me put it like that. But it's not. So people don't know and they don't try to educate themselves. So they do things the wrong way. But of course, they have people who spitefully know better and choose to not do better. We could all agree with that. They have bad apples. In anything you're doing, they're going to have bad apples. They have people who do good, they have people who do bad. But we got to make sure these people who doing good and dealing with our people good and making sure we are upstanding business people. So on that note, I'll share some notes I made some months back about how to be an upstanding business person, business owner. Initially, I told myself I was going to sit down and create a video about this solely. But when creating putting together the content for this episode, I deemed that this was great information to share here today. Hey Ray, blessings Ray, when are Ray Gums? Thanks for joining. Shout out to my brother Ray Gums. Blessings. Yeah, so the notes I want to share before I get into the content I'll be sharing is, like I say, how to be an upstanding business person. These are my notes, not nobody else. These is things I was going to elaborate on in a video, but like I said, I decided to share it here. To be an upstanding business person, you have to be able to communicate your message well. You have to sell your product, whether it's a product or a service. You have to be able to sell your product. Like I one of my professors when I was in college used to say purpose and audience. You got to know what's the purpose of what you're saying. So in this case, you're trying to sell somebody something or communicate to them that you have this product offering. And the audience would be the person you're speaking to. And basically, the idea behind this principle is if you know the person that you're speaking to is someone that's into art, you maybe use art references within your message, or maybe you talk about if it's somebody that like agriculture, you use references with agriculture so that it can more resonate with them, that they could understand it easier and they have a higher chance of, let's say, partaking or purchasing if they understand and the message was communicated well. So communicate your message well. And then once you communicate your message well and people actually take you up on this offer, fulfill your promises. Don't be a con artist in business. Your customer, like they say, the customer is always right. That's because your customer could make or break your business. One customer, you could be serving 1,000,000 people. We say 1,000. We say you open your business, you serve 1,000 people. All of them love what you're doing. They love your product. They love your service. And one person come in and maybe just on that day, you wasn't having a good day and you dealt with that person in a negative way. And they maybe give a review online or they just do word of mouth. They go tell people around the place, especially in a small community like St. Martin. Word of mouth is a big thing. And especially if you open a business, let me say like a restaurant or like a food spot, say a food bar. Word of mouth is a very important thing. You need your customers or the people that come and patronize your business to have a good experience and to relay that to others so that other people could come and want to come, because in our community is a small community and it don't have a lot of options. So people very hesitant with new things. People more sticking to tradition, sticking to things they know. So when new things come, you gotta really call to them, you know. So I say that to say fulfill your promises. When you got people that come to you, make sure you give them what you have to give them. You provide them with what you offered, and you do it in a respectful and customer service oriented manner so that your customer could have a good experience and relay that to other customers or other prospective customers, that now you can have more people coming through your door. That's more business for you, things moving better. One thing you gotta do too, now that you're making money, manage your money. You got to be able to manage your money. A lot of people don't know how to manage their money right. A lot of people, they start making money, they see money, and they go to their head and they checking, okay, I could go buy this, I could go do that. But no, you have to manage your money. I ain't saying you can't pay yourself a salary. I ain't saying a portion of the money shouldn't go to you. It should. You're working hard, you need to pay yourself, yes. But don't feel like, oh yeah, I start this business, so this is my money. No, there's the business money. Think on the business like a child you bring into this world. You birthed a child. It's not a physical child, but this is a brain child that you created. And now you got to think of it as its own entity. Yes, it's going to help you because you helping it. But you got to remember, you ain't it and it ain't you. You just a representative of the business now. You the face because you the brand. You the creator. You the founder. But you can't feel like buyer. any money this business make is my money because I start this business. That's the wrong mentality. Your business going shoot. Cause then how you gonna pay your employees, how you gonna get more products, and something I can touch on a little later. When I do a presentation, I did a presentation about agricultural business, starting agriculture business. But it's not, if you really look at it, it's not only about agriculture, it's general, because the principles I shared in that video, in that presentation, which I did record it, I have it posted on my YouTube channel as well. You can find it. Credits Agri Loan Session. I divulged a lot of information, which is I talk about managing your money. And I talk about a lot of people. Let me say, for instance, they may be selling juice and like natural juices. They're making natural juices, and maybe Friday night, Friday, they went out, they sell, they make $100. They feel like, wow, okay, I had a good day. Let me go treat myself, whether it's go buy a plate of food or go have some drinks with the friends or just have a good time. Nothing against that, no. But the problem is people will take the whole $100, go splurge, have a good day, and then tomorrow they're wondering how they're going to continue their business, what they're going to do to get the stocks they need and the items they need to continue the business. And that's one reason a lot of businesses fail. One reason. They have a lot of other reasons, but you have to have self-control. You have to be able to manage yourself, manage your money. You have to manage your personal expenses for sure, but also make sure you manage the business expenses and income well. Because think on it this way, especially now being in a course I in right now about business. One thing that was mentioned, which is a fact, when you start a business, you managing money is like top priority. And a lot of people doesn't know how to differentiate, but you have to, yeah, you have to stay focused, like Olivia say. Yeah. Big up Olivia Williams in the chat. Yeah. Big up yourself one time. But yeah, you have to really stay focused. You have to keep your eye on the ball, especially when you're just starting out. Managing your money is important. And if you looking for funding, when you have good records, man, that year could make the wall. Like a good example, oh no, they have a gentleman in the class. He very meticulous with his records. He checking every time he go out, every day he go out, whatever he make, he records it, he writes it down, So he make a joke the other day with the instructor, checking like, yeah, so you telling me I have to write and provide you with the records for every day? He's checking like, yeah. He checking by that be a lot. But why? Because he manage anything. And how he responds was, well, that's great. Because now when you could show that you have good money management practices, the lenders love that. Because now data is everything, information is everything. When you have data, you could project, you could see or tell the future, let me say like that. A good example, a fisherman in the class, he talk about how he does keep his records as well. And because of that, he could tell, let me say around summertime, a specific breed of fish doesn't really be around like that. So he does focus his efforts more on laptop, which another good example. A few episodes ago, I shared a snippet of an interview with Kevin O'Leary. He's a Shark Tank investor, venture capitalist. And he talked about how because his wine business keeps such great data, they was able to tell that okay, around summertime, people mostly buying like Moscatos and those sweet wines. They ain't really looking for those other like red wine and those things. So what they do, they lessen the production of those other type of varieties and increase the production of the Moscato. So now they could meet demand when next summer come, and they ain't got bunch of wine sitting doing nothing, turning over. A lot of people don't see the value of having data and keeping records of your information, but it has a immense value that is hard to quantify. Let me say like that. It's hard to put a number to how valuable having data is, and that's why people don't really value it much because they check and buy. I don't know how much money I can make from keeping this data, but when you think about how much you save by not producing this one product and advancing your production at this next one, then you could start to see how instead of how it causes you to save money and in turn generate more revenue in other terms. Going back to the talks, like I say, manage your money. You gotta know how to manage your money. So let me say, like I say, you go out, you got your $100. Don't spend all 100. If you know, okay, I need $50 to buy all the items I need to make back my product, save back a 50, maybe put a 10 on the side with it too, say that's a savings you putting for yourself. You could live with $40. You could go and have a good time with $40. Yeah. Anyways, learn to take constructive feedback. A lot of people close-minded. A lot of people don't know how to take criticism, simply put. And in business, you got to be able to deal with people telling you that they don't like what you're doing. You got to be able to deal with people telling you that they don't want what you're selling. And you got to be strong. You got to have thick skin, really and truly. You got to just bounce back from the negativity. Like they say, law of averages. If you go and you talk to 100 people and 100 people tell you no, once you got more people telling you yes, that's good. That's a good thing. Or let me say, if you go, you talk to different people, 10 people tell you no, and then finally you reach the 1%, they tell you yes. That's a good thing. That's not something to frown upon. You know, that's positive. You're making strides, you know? And that's why in sales training, they would have you like just calling customers, and you know, practice. Like they say, practice makes perfect. The repetitions does help you learn how to navigate, learn little tricks of the trade, let me say. You see, like Ray say, you gotta know your market, you know, and yeah, you have to learn how to take criticism because not everybody can like what you're offering, and you can't just cuss off everybody because they tell you buy I ain't like this. No, you can't move like that. You gotta be move with grace. That's the simplest way I could tell you, you know? Somebody come to you buy didn't like this product, ask them why, what they didn't like about it. Gain some information, gain some knowledge from it so that now you could know how you could better service somebody that might have the same thought, you know. Anyways, let's say refrain from lying. Refrain from lying, I guess, is a little touchy one, a little technical, I guess, but I guess that ties into fulfilling your promises and don't be a con artist. Just be truthful, be a person about your word. Like they say, Tony Montana say, a man only has his word and his balls. But that basically just saying, like, when you give somebody a word, be about your word. Word is bond. Meaning, when you say something, like they say, the power of life and death is in the tongue. When you put that out in the atmosphere and the universe, it means something. So when you tell somebody, yeah, I'm going to bring that for you. I'm going to bring that product for you. Do it. Don't just tell people something they want to hear, or don't lie to them because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. You know, maybe because you was tired that day, tell them, yeah, something happened to my car, so I could not come make that delivery. But then you wait, watch. God don't sleep, because a couple days after, your car might really stop working because you tell a lie. You check. So know what you're doing, know what you're on. Don't refrain from lying. Be truthful, you know, be a trustworthy leader to your customers, your clients, but also your employees, the people that look up to you, that rely on you. Because when you have employees, they rely on you for their livelihood now. I could tell you, I've been in jobs whereas people, let me say, they lose their job and they gotta come apply for unemployment and food stamps and these things, and you'll help them apply for different jobs and things. And you could see how defeated these people feel when they lose their job. That's their livelihood. That's how they put in food on the table. That's how they providing for their families. You know, so it's an important thing you're doing. So you gotta be a trustworthy leader. You gotta be an upstanding business person. Big up Laurel in the chat one time. Love, love and blessings. I appreciate you for joining. Shout out to Laurel Ardell in the chat one time. Big up yourself. Yeah. But yeah, moving on. Just work on those things. If you know you're somebody that can't keep your word, that you don't even keep word to your own self, so you're checking how you gonna keep word to anybody else, start with yourself. Like, start to be about your word. Start with yourself. And of course, it's a process. Maybe in the first time, it might not just be just like that. You know, you might still have little stumbling blocks, but like I say, nothing good comes easy. So if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Yeah. But yeah, make sure you have confidence. Like I say, be trustworthy and realize that we are not perfect. People make mistakes, and others will respect you more if you own up to your mistakes and make it right. Some might not want to continue doing business with you, but they will respect you because you was honest to them and you was real. Real people do real things, plain and simple. So with that said, like I say, I put together those points. I wanted to share them in its own video, meaning I wanted to make a video talking about how to be an upstanding business person. But like I said, when I decided to put this podcast episode together, when I was corralling the content, I said, you know what, this would be great to share in this episode. So I shared it. I hope it was good. I hope I was on the right mindset. Like I said, this is my notes. I sit down and I think to myself, like, bye. Well, a lot of people doing the wrong thing. And I think that a lot. A lot of people doing business, they ain't doing upstanding business, and I guess at night I sit down and I check in by. I want to put together a video talking about how to be an upstanding business person, and that's the notes I had. So if I agree, leave a little comment. Say, yeah, I agree with you, Oliver. I agree with you, Ali. You're right. You're on the right track. Nail on the head. Nah. hmm If not, tell me what you disagree with. I am all ears. I promise you. But yeah, we here with it. Love alone. Anyways, moving on. Moving on up to the east side. Big mansion in the sky. At the stage. To stage. I got some content I want to share with you here today. As per usual. So, in the first original financial literacy episode, I shared this article. I'm not going to really get into it today, but it was about investing in startups versus established business. I find it was a good read. With you. It basically I find was a good short article. It's not long. And it didn't dive too deep into the differences, but I find it was a good get your mind into the state of business ownership, or get your mind into that mindset. Let me put it like that. So of course, as always, all these links I share in this episode, I will share them in the description on YouTube. So any of these links, anything that I share in any of these episodes that you're interested in, you could go back to my YouTube channel, whether you go on your computer, on your phone. Could actually go on your TV too, but I ain't like me hard to access the links on your TV. Just saying. But yeah, just type in my name. You'll see my channel come up. Click on it. Or if you want, you can type in the name of the episode, All Over It Podcast. We type in the episode information, the name of the episode, and you'll get it. And in the description, when you click on the episode, you click more in the information about the episode. You'll find all the links that I share there. Great. Just a disclaimer. But yeah, this article, like I said, I'm not really gonna get into it, but it is a good read. So I do recommend you, if you're interested in investing in a business, whether startup or established, this is a good read to start. But we'll dive right into things on this article from Forbes website, Forbes.com. 7 reasons why business ownership is better than a 9-to-5 job. Come hit them hard straight out the gate. Bam. For me, business. I all about business. I'll tell anybody, look, start a business. I don't recommend you to get a job, but some people like the security and safety. Anyways, getting into this article. These days, the allure of business ownership has never been stronger. And I agree. A lot of people moving or resonating towards that side of things. Many are trading the traditional 9-to-5 grind for the freedom and excitement of entrepreneurship. I am one of those people. Yeah. While a stable job offers security, there are compelling reasons why owning a business can be a more fulfilling and adventurous path. As it says, In the United States, the entrepreneurial spirit thrives with over 33 million small businesses shaping the nation's economic landscape. You hear what it say? Shaping the nation's economic landscape. I want to stress on that because, and you see it say, these enterprises ranging from local boutiques to tech startups embody the dream and ambitions of individuals who relish the freedom and autonomy of being their own bosses. Great. But I just want to touch on that, the shaping the nation's economic landscape. That is one of the benefits of being a business owner. You shaping how your country move, how your country grows, how the economic landscape of your country, whether grows or topples. Business owners, business is important because when you start a business, you contributing to the economy of the country now. Think just buy it, Oliver putting some money in his pocket, buy it, Oliver hire Peter or John from down the road, or maybe he hire his family members and now they making some money. No, think just that now. You solving an issue, a problem for your customer, whether is you making, whether you selling water and your customer checking by, I need water to drink. Maybe you selling juice and your customer checking by, I need natural juice. These juices selling in the shop is no good. Whether you selling food and your customer checking by, I hungry, I need something to eat. Okay, I could stop by Oliver. Whether it's here you're doing, your customer checking by, I need my hair done. And because you do that, you solving a problem for your customer. Yes, money is generating, but it's also generating for the economy of the country. You put in money in the coffers of the country by starting your business. Huh? Yeah. Just know. And look, they tell it to you here. I think just Oliver telling it to you. Good. I can continue. I can get into the reasons, like they say, 7 reasons why business ownership is better than a 9-to-5 job. Number 1, unlimited earning potential, meaning you could make whatever you want. One of the most significant advantages of owning a business is the potential for unlimited income. Unlike a 9-to-5 job where your salary is often capped, running your own business allows you to directly benefit from your hard work and creativity. Your earnings are tied to your efforts and ingenuity, giving you the chance to build substantial wealth. So good, understand. As opposed to you working in your job 9-to-5 and your boss telling you, okay, we're gonna pay you. Maybe you got an all right job, so you get maybe 2,000 a month. That's an all right job. I would say in our region at least. Maybe in the US, that's that one hard. You know, cost of living high in the US, I'd say. But think of it like that. Like when you walk in a job, if this is your income, this is all it could be. It ain't passing there. But now when you start a business, you can make whatever. Instead of only making 2,000, you can make 10,000 in a month. You can make 10,000 in a day if you want. You can make 100,000 in a month. You can make 1,000,000 in a month if you want. Is what drive you put in is what you're gonna get out. Yeah. I'm telling you, good. Unlimited earning potential. And I'm gonna share a personal story to really drive this point home. When I was working in my IT job. And if Laurel's still here watching, she could attest to this. I do a project. I talk about this in my episode about 4 episodes ago. Know your worth and add tax. I talk about basically unfair treatment on a job and my situation with like labor disputes and all that good stuff. It's and I mentioned a story about when I was working. I do a project, and I talk about this to somebody, well, it was yesterday, ironically. I do a project, I change out smart boards out of 17 rooms and replace them with two 75-inch TVs. So in each of the classes, 17 rooms, they had a smart board. And when we take them down, we put up two 75-inch TVs. So 34 TVs in all. Good. Long story short, me doing this project with a few other guys from the company internally, us doing the job internally, long story short. So literally a handful of us, I promise you, the brunt of the work was done by 3 people, me and 2 other guys. Apart from that, they had like a group of maybe 4 guys from the facilities team that help out with like the groundwork, the prep and thing in the beginning. Good. Maybe I wasn't supposed to make, like situations like too much. I end up getting the invoice that come from the company that send the equipment, and I see the different options, and basically they had a full installation option, whereas the company would have come down, bring down their people, they would have get accommodations, car, all these things. So the company I work for would have had to send for them, pay for all the room and board, everything, and then they would have come down, set up the equipment and everything. Good. That's full installation. The company did not opt for that. They choose just equipment, send the equipment, and they had me and the internal team do the job. Because they do that, it saved the company over $150,000. Good. Now, at the time, I thought to myself, like, bye, nothing would tell them, like, bye, let me give these man a little extra, even if it's $1,000 on top of, the salary. They do a lot of work. They do hard work. What is that? But in hindsight, I understand it better now. Like a business owner self tell me, like, is a vibe, like the business owners probably look at it like, okay, the same work we could have get done for more, we get done for less. So that's kudos on our side, and they really studying with the employees. They're checking, yeah, you getting paid, So it's like, think on it this way, going back to the scenario, like I say, unlimited earning potential. When I was working in that job, I was making less than 2,000, and after I do that project, I get my salary. That's all. You get a thank you, and then your salary at the end of the month. I work a little overtime, so yeah, I get some overtime. But on the flip side, let's say if I was not working with a company, if I was my own independent IT tech company and I do contractor work for them. Let me say, even locally, I was here locally as a independent contractor that was contracted to do the work for them. I would have get significantly more. I could have called my own price. I could have, especially for a project like that, was a big project. They would have ended up paying me money. Not no 2,000 at the end of the month. I probably would have I could have called, let me say, at least 10,000 for that project. Let me say like that. And that's all money in, all that money going into your pocket. Yes, you gotta pay taxes. Yes, you gotta pay your employees or whoever you got helping you and all these things. You gotta manage your money, make sure you keep the lights on, pay your expenses, but just understand it ain't that you do the work, the business, get the money, and then they give you is whatever you charge, whatever you put in is what you get out. You check. So if you go to whatever company and they decide they want to contract you and you charge them $100,000, once you deliver, you getting paid $100,000. Yeah, they got some people that is be a little wishy-washy with paying, but you got to make sure you find good clients too that will pay you. But yeah, once you got good people, once you deliver, that's your money. You check. Okay, yes, in certain other industries, 9 to 5 job and thing, you get like commission and thing, maybe depending on what you're doing, maybe you use a salesperson, maybe you're selling cars or whatever, you get commission. Okay, cool. That's great. So you're getting a little percentage or whatever you sell. But keep in mind, you making the sale, you the one bringing in the money. But it's still going to them, you getting a piece of it. So you still getting the crumbs off of somebody else's plate. I ain't telling you just go quit your job and start a car dealership. You're probably able to do it. You probably know the business good. Maybe you have a lot of experience in whatever job or whatever company field you're working in. But just make sure you remember business ain't just about the service. It's about managing your money and making sure you're keeping the lights on and keeping things running, keeping your customers satisfied so that everybody could be happy. Not just you, not just your customer, not just your employees. Everybody, all of it. Good. Moving on. Like I say, number one, you see they put it the first one. Number one, unlimited earning potential. Continuing on. Autonomy and control. As a business owner, you have the freedom to make decisions and steer your company in the direction you envision. This level of control is empowering and allows you to implement your ideas without the need of approval from higher ups. In contrast, a 9 to 5 job often involves adhering to decisions made by others, which can be frustrating for those with entrepreneurial spirit. I could say that from experience. Times when I was working in my jobs, like I say, certain business owners don't ain't dealing with things right. They're not upstanding. And I used to see things that I did not agree with, but you're working there, you gotta adhere. And yeah, all of it. This is another reason personally I could attest to business ownership. Yes, some people will say, yeah, that level of freedom and control is a double-edged sword. But you gotta know how to manage your time, manage your money, manage everything. You gotta manage yourself. Yeah. So yes, you have the freedom. You could make the decision. Some people maybe they might shy away from it, or maybe they might just get lax because they saw a customer having other people make the decisions for them. But no, you have to stay on top of the ball. You have to stick to it and keep pushing your business to make sure it keep growing, to make sure you could keep the lights on, keep putting food on the table for yourself and the people around you. Yeah. Number three, flexibility and work-life balance. Owning a business provides the flexibility to create a schedule that works for you. Whether you're a night owl or an early bird, you can structure your workday to suit your lifestyle. This flexibility is particularly valuable for parents, caregivers, or anyone seeking a better work-life balance. While running a business can be demanding, it offers the possibility to prioritize what's important to you without being confined to a rigid schedule. I agree with that totally. I ain't gonna really stress on it too much, but yeah, just like I said previously, you have the freedom and control to create things and organize things how you want, schedule yourself how you see fit, and deal with things how you want. So that's why I say, even with the unlimited earning potential, what you put in is what you get out. Because it's like, okay, yeah, you could start your business, but if you doing nothing in it, if you contributing to it, or have somebody contributing to it, ain't and growing or going nowhere, you gonna make money and just flap. No, you have to keep things going. You know, so you gotta learn how to manage your time. If you don't know how to, they have great principles and skills and tips and tricks on managing your time and all that good stuff. I'll tell you, check those out. Pursuit of passion, number 4. Starting a business allows you to pursue your passion and interests. When you're passionate about what you do, work becomes more enjoyable and fulfilling. This sense of purpose can be a powerful motivator, driving you to overcome challenges and achieve your goals. In a traditional job, aligning your career with your passion can be difficult, as roles and responsibilities are often predefined. Totally understandable. Personal and professional growth. The journey of entrepreneurship is filled with learning opportunities. From mastering new skills to solving complex problems, business ownership fosters personal and professional growth. I totally agree with this. Like I just say, I believe in lifelong learning, and being a business owner is times changing. Times always changing, so you always gotta move with the tide and learn and adapt to the changes around you. You know, you can't just say, okay, I start this business, this working good, okay, I can leave it. So no, it might be working good now, but then next month, next year, it might be working good. Like today, I was watching a news, and they was talking about how much it is, 73 businesses, like large cap businesses, closed down, like went bankrupt during July. And they was talking about how, like, it's a shift. And I've been saying that is a real shift in the global economy, global, just a shift in the markets and everything, and we gotta really adapt and grow and learn how to adapt with the times and get with it, else we gonna get lost, you know. Continuing on, number 6, building a legacy. Owning a business gives you the chance to create something lasting. Whether it's building a family enterprise, developing a brand, or contributing to your community, entrepreneurship allows you to leave a legacy. This is something I believe in too. Building a legacy. You know, wouldn't you like for people to look back after you pass and say, "Bah, yeah, Oliver Williams is who built this road," or Oliver Williams started this business and this business contribute to this community so well. Like I just hear stories about, like, let me say, maybe I go to passings and so on, and people talking highly about the people that pass, and legacy. And usually come from business. You don't usually leave a legacy of working in your job. Unless the job decide they can big you up and say, yeah, this person worked 20 years, 25 years, but that only gonna go so far. That usually probably only gonna be within the business or within the community that knows the business. Anybody else outside of that ain't know nothing about that. But go build a legacy when you start a business. And last but not least, in this article, number 7, networking and relationships. As a business owner, you'll have countless opportunities to forge valuable connections with clients, partnerships, and fellow entrepreneurs. These relationships can open doors to new opportunities, collaborations, and even friendships that can enrich your personal and professional life. The entrepreneurial community is often supportive and inspiring, providing a sense of camaraderie that is sometimes harder to find in a traditional workplace. So basically, what I'm saying is, usually entrepreneurs friendly. That's what I'm saying in layman terms. And usually if you is an entrepreneur and you link up with another entrepreneur, 9 out of 10 times they're willing to work with you, they're willing to collaborate with you, they're willing to literally provide information or support you in any way to help you grow too, just like how they grow. Okay, granted, they have some people that a little more negative and close-minded and feel like they got like this hoarder mentality, like they feel like, bye, if you get into it, you're gonna take from them, from their gains. But for the most part, they have a large wealth of people that entrepreneurial and community minded, like like you say, the entrepreneurial community minded, these is people that they ain't trying to break you down, they trying to help build you up because they know what they went through to reach where they reach, so they don't mind sharing a little insight with you to kind of ease the road. And like I always say, one hand wash another. And in life we need each other. We might feel like we could go it alone or live life or do things solo, but in life we need each other. And when you deal with people good, will deal with you good for the most part, most of the time. And when you build good relationships and network with people, it really could propel your life forward. It could really help you grow personally and help you grow professionally and financially, like this article says. Not gonna get into everything else. It has some more information as well, but I'll move on to this next article talking about buying a business versus starting one. This is a detailed comparison. I'm not going to touch on everything, but just so you could get an idea of the differences. So, like it says, you got to decide whether to buy an existing business or start one from the ground up. This is a significant choice for any aspiring entrepreneur. Both paths present unique advantages and challenges, and understanding these can help you make an informed decision aligned with your goals and resources. So, this article is about understanding the playing field you're about to get into. Good. So, understanding the core differences. One of the main differences is time to market, meaning when you buy an established business, it's already established. So you in the market one time, as opposed to when you starting up a business. So buying an established business often provides immediate market presence, in contrast to starting a new business typically involves a lengthy setup process. You got to go through the paperwork, you got to get people to know you, you got to get all that good stuff. Brand recognition, like I always talk about getting people to know you. An established business already comes with pre-existing customer base and brand loyalty, while new startups must invest time and resources into building their reputation. So when you're new, you gotta do more marketing, you gotta get people to know you. Yeah, you could do word of mouth when people come and buy a product, but that only could serve as a percentage. You gotta try and market your brand, get your name out there so people could know you and keep coming back to you. Financial investment. While buying a business usually requires a significant upfront investment, starting a business may offer more flexibility in terms of budgeting and financing. So basically what it's saying is, when you're buying an established business, it usually costs a lot more upfront. Whereas when you're starting a business, you could kind of start slow, piece it together. Maybe you pay for this farm here, or you pay for that next thing there. You don't gotta just pay everything up front or find some type of funding to pay everything up front. The advantages of buying a business. One of the most compelling reasons to purchase an existing business is the immediate cash flow. Yes. According to recent studies, approximately 80% of the businesses that are bought tend to generate profits from day one. This immediate financial return can be invaluable, especially for new entrepreneurs who may be prepared to wait for a startup to become profitable, who may not be prepared. Sorry, apologies. Moreover, when purchasing a business, you inherit its existing customer base, like I say, establish suppliers and train employees. This advantage significantly mitigates the risk of entrepreneurship as you step into a functioning, operating business rather than a startup. For instance, if you were to buy a restaurant, you would acquire not only the physical assets like the business, so the actual restaurant structure, the assets inside, like, the kitchen assets, the seating and all those things, but you also get the clientele and the support and the clientele that has supported the business, the recipes that the business has refined over time, and even the brand's reputation in the community. This can lead to a smoother transition and quicker profitability than launching a new dining venture. So basically, what it's saying in a nutshell, three of the top reasons people decide to get an existing business. One of the main ones is you're getting cash flow one time. So once you complete the deal, money coming in. You don't gotta wait till a couple months down the line. Let me say from month one, from day one, money generated. Good. Also, you get the structure with it, the business structure. So you get your vendors already, you get your suppliers already, you get your clientele already. So it saves that groundwork. And then, yeah, like I say, is like all in one operation. So, you get, if, like it say, recipes, if it's a restaurant, if it's maybe a tech startup, you get whatever proprietary information they have, whatever intellectual property you get to know, and things along those lines. Of course, they have challenges. Despite the benefits, buying a business is not without its challenges. One of the main issues is the financial risk involved. You must conduct thorough due diligence to ensure that the business you're purchasing is financially sound. That's one of the biggest risks. One of the biggest risks with this on a whole. You might be talking to a seller of a established business and they're gonna tell you, yeah man, this business great, this business making money. And then you buy it, and then when you get it, you see like, you just buy a sinking ship. You checking, what? I gotta go fix this, I gotta go do that, I gotta buy that. Nah. When you do your due diligence, when you do your homework, when you research, you check out what's going on, and when it comes to business ownership, doing your due diligence and entails checking out the business, checking out the financials, checking out all the information that would be important to know if this business is financially sound, to know if this is a good buy. With anything, when you're going to buy a car, you don't just walk into the dealership and say, buyer, give me that car, and put on your money and walk out. No, you go, you check out the different cars, you see which one you like the most. You checking, okay, no, I can't get a two-door, even though I like that one the most. I gotta go get a four-door sedan because I got a family. And you put these thought processes into action, and you come to an educated decision. And that's what you got to do here. Due diligence. You got to do your homework, do your research, know what you're getting yourself into before you get into it, because then you get into it and then you're checking, why do they? Why? No. So this is one of the reasons why most people shy away from buying a business, because they end up getting something that was no good, or maybe they're afraid they get something that is no good. But Once you do your due diligence, once you do your homework, once you know what you're getting yourself into, when you get into it, it's like smooth sailing. And then, like I say, it's benefits because now you're making money one time. Like I could talk from experience. Like right now, I starting up a business and it's a process. You gotta go deal with this paperwork here. You gotta go check this one, do that one, talk to this one about coming on with you. Like being an employee and thing. It's a lot of groundwork. It's a lot of groundwork to start up a business. A lot. Trust and believe. But when you do that groundwork, you know what all your business entail. You know what all involved. So all of that strengthens you now that when it's turning, when the wheels are turning, anything happen, you could solve it because you know what the issue is. Check. Anyways, moving on. Additionally, you may encounter hidden costs during the acquisition process. That's light. These include debts, unpaid taxes, outdated equipment requiring replacement, different things like that. But those is, like I say, once you do your due diligence, and even when you're going through the acquisition process, yeah, you're gonna have fees and costs involved. So you gotta put in mind, like, okay, for me to buy this business, it gonna have a set it can have a set of fees and things associated. Lawyers gotta get paid, notary gotta get paid, the government gotta get paid, a lot of different entities gotta get paid. So when you starting up a business or even buying a business, is a lot of paperwork, a lot of different things, a lot of moving parts involved to get started, even with starting the acquisition process of an established business. you know And then, yeah, moreover, adapting to an established company culture can be challenging. So this is a key one too, meaning, like how I was saying, when you start the business from ground up, you know the business through and through like the back of your hand. But when you buy an established business, it's done established. So now you gotta learn the business, you gotta learn the ins and outs of the business. So it'll be a learning curve. Some business sellers would offer to stay on maybe for a month or for a certain period of time to help get you familiar with things, but it can be a learning curve no matter what, because you're getting yourself into something new. But if you approach that with a positive growth mindset, you're gonna take that like, bye. I laugh in the face of adversity. I grab challenges by the hands and I overcome them. Yes, and you will set a goal and achieve your goal, and your goal will be learning your new business so that you could learn how to run it well. And once you achieve that, everybody happy. You're gonna be happy because you're gonna be making money one time, even from while you learning, you making money now. Just know that. And your employees gonna be happy because for me, I ain't a person that, yeah, buy up a business, I can fire everybody. I would see if I could keep you on and think. But yeah, your employees gonna be happy because they're checking, okay, we got a business owner now, a boss that capable still, even though he new to the sector or the industry, and all these different good stuff. So it does be a learning curve, but for good reason. Yeah, so I'm gonna get into the rest of this article, but as you could see, it talks about the case for starting a business from scratch, potential challenges for starting a business from scratch, and then financial considerations, weighing costs and risks, market trends, and industry landscape, which I feel like all of this is good information. So if you interested in starting a business or buying an established business, let me say if you're on the fence, if you don't know which one you should do, check out this article. Like I say, I will be leaving a link in the description on YouTube. Great. Moving on. I just want to share these couple points about disadvantages of owning a small business here. Like it says, the financial risk. Entrepreneurs are indeed risk takers. However, the risk level differs from one individual to another. A business can go scarily wrong and you may lose all the investment, or it could go scarily right. It's all about you. If you invest your life savings or go into debt for your seed capital, you could lose it all you if you made a bad business decision. But we ain't making no bad decisions. We making sure that we doing the right things. We know what people want. We know what we bring into the market. We passionate about our thing, so we ain't gonna end up in that situation. But it's a valuable point, and it is a fact. A lot of people, they maybe decide they want to start up a business and they take loans from friends or maybe even business entities that would be willing to give it to them, and they put themselves in debt, and then maybe the product or service they wanted to bring to the market wasn't something in demand, let me say like that, wasn't something that people really want to buy, you know and because of that it ended up being a flop, and now you in debt. But like I said, due diligence, all of that goes with due diligence, because now, like, certain people who want to live, or certain people who are close to me would know. Recently, I sent up a survey. All of that is information. All of that is due diligence, because it's like you're gauging demand for your product before you even go to market. So in other words, you're getting an idea of people gonna want what you're selling before you even start selling it. Even though I've been selling most of these products, you gauge the market so you can know if it makes sense. And for a situation like this, that's what you need to do before you even go to market. You got to make sure you ain't just buy. I alone or me and my friends like water bottle sleeves, so I can start selling water bottle sleeves, and then when you start selling it, nobody ain't buying it. Yeah. Big up my voices. Go in the chat one time. Yeah. Shout out. You don't know. Appreciate the support, my brother. Blessings and love. You don't know. But yeah, moving on to the next disadvantage. Like, we're talking about disadvantages of owning a small business. I talk about a lot of advantages, and I'm going to keep talking about advantages. So I got to get a little disadvantages too. Stress and health issues. As this person says, I will be honest to you. With so many decisions on your shoulder, owning a business can be stressful. Factually, it does be a lot. You are the face of the company and have to handle many concerns such as competition, customer problems, expenses, employees, sourcing suppliers, late deliveries, and equipment breakdown. Everything is on you. So to a level, it could be stressful, but once you deal with your challenges and in a proper manner, you're gonna be okay. But yes, it can impact you negatively, whether health wise or stress wise, if you don't have a handle of things. Time and commitment. In theory, people become entrepreneurs to spend more time with their families. However, in reality, you may have less free time for entrepreneurship. In fact, in reality, you may have little free time for entrepreneurship. In fact, you may have less free time than in your 9-to-5 job, which is factual, but it's all about you. It's all about your business and what stage you are in your business. Usually when you're starting up a business, yes, a lot of the groundwork, a lot of the work is on you. But then once you grow in, once you got employees and things, you could ease back. You could, delegate now, and then now you got more time for yourself. But yes, time and commitment is an issue. Yeah, big up on Misha in the chat. Yes. Thanks for the support. Yeah. Blessings. Appreciate you for joining and tuning in. Yeah, we are talking about business, and that's what everybody loves, to me. And yeah, these two last negatives to business, disadvantages, unknown variables, When you start a business, they got things that would pop up that you didn't account for, things that happen that you didn't plan for in the beginning. But all of that is part of it. And once you manage yourself and once you set up yourself right, you'll be able to navigate even these unknown variables and unstable income. Yeah, usually initially when you're starting up, money to be tight. As it says, in the initial stage of your startup, you may operate your business at a break even or loss before you can realize profits. This means you may need another source of income to cater to your bills. Basically, what it's saying is when you start your business, sometimes it doesn't be making money. A lot of times, sometimes you would be having to pay more than you're making, meaning your expenses higher than your income or your cash flow. But once you have a good business and manage your business right and do things right, you don't have to worry about that because things gonna grow, money gonna keep coming in, and then you see that break even and then that shift, whereas you in profits. And then profits gonna start growing exponentially like a curve. Yep. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, you could see I was reading this one. 10 advantages of starting your own business. I'll just breeze through these. Like I said, all of these articles I share in this episode and all the episodes will be the link to all of these articles I shared will be in the description on YouTube. So if any of these things interest you, any of these articles or links interest you, you could find any of them in the description section of this YouTube episode. Great. Hey, good night, Rita. Big up yourself one time, Rita. Shout out to Rita in the chat. Yeah. Appreciate it. I appreciate you for joining. Yeah. But yeah, advantages. Apologies. Advantages of starting your own business. Like I say, financial independence. You don't got no cap to your money. You could make whatever your heart's desire. It ain't like a salary, whereas every month the boss telling you what you gonna make. The boss telling you, okay, we're gonna give you 2,000 every month. No. What you put in is what you get out. If you want to make 10,000 in a month, 10,000 in a day, you can make that. You just gotta set up your business, organize things so that you can make your money. Good. Flexibility, like we talk about time. You got a time to do what you want. You have control over your time and whatever you see fit. However you want that business to run is how you're going to set it up. Thing like when you go to your job and the boss tell you, yeah, you have to wear this outfit or whoever it is. Maybe you have to adhere to these certain rules, but you're checking you don't agree to these rules. When you own your business, you flexible. You have the control to set it up how you want. Personal growth. Starting a business and running a business is not just a financial venture, it's a transformative journey that will test and expand your abilities in ways few other experiences can. As an entrepreneur, you'll have the opportunity to learn and master a wide array of skills from marketing and branding to financial planning, operations, and leadership. Each challenge you face will push you to think creatively, solve problems effectively, and make decisions with confidence. Totally agree. Like I just say, I am a problem solver. I always solution oriented. My mind is always on that. So yeah, full control over decisions. Like I say, you control whatever the business doing, whatever the employee is doing. Is you make the playing field. Is you will make the rules that we say. Job security, while starting a business, comes with its share of risk. Entrepreneurship puts you in control of your own destiny rather than at the mercy of corporate layoffs, restructuring, or pull or office politics. Sorry. As a business owner, your job security is firmly in your hands. Yeah, giving you the ability to navigate challenges and build resilience through your efforts and strategic decisions determining with determination and adaptability. You have the power to steer your business through economic fluctuations and uncertainties. So I like this one because most people consider job like a 9 to 5 job as job security. But let's see it telling you here, having a business and owning a business is job security for life. Because now you know nobody ain't gonna come lay you off. Like I should have actually gathered this for this, but I got this quote I hear once that stick with me, and I made sure save it. It said, it said to be, if you don't want to get fired, you have to be your own boss. Basically, that's the gist of it, you know. And yeah, that's facts. You see, it tell you here, like when you work in a job, you at the mercy of your boss. If your boss wake up today and he decide by yeah, I'll go in doing what he's supposed to do, keep in mind you could be doing the wall. If your boss wake up today decide by I'll go gone, you gone. Yeah, maybe they might have like labor dispute or like labor laws to safeguard those type of things. But let's be honest, for the most part, you gone if they don't want you there. Yeah, yeah. Like my father Oliver Williams in the chat say, lot of things on your head, you know? So yeah, you're the one full control. A lot of things gotta be on your head, yeah. But once you organize yourself right and do things right, you gotta worry about none of that. Direct impact. When you start your own business, you experience a unique and gratifying reward of seeing the direct results of your efforts. So, like how we were talking about with my story, because I was working, I didn't get the direct impact. But like because I was working for somebody else. But if it was me, like contracted, then when I see that, I could get to promote it. I could get to I could get the direct result, the satisfaction of doing the work. Another good example, while I was working in that same job, I used to do some videography. So I would be tasked with recording, capturing content of whatever they wanted to capture, and then I would have to edit it. So I'd have to sit down behind my computer and do the video editing of it. And I've asked on more than one occasion if I would be allowed to, you know, put my name as a creator, as like how did I have the credits, put a credits for all the people involved. And I was told no, it's property of the business, the entity I was working for. And it's like you don't get no ownership of your own things, the things you're doing, somebody else taking and claiming ownership of it, and you can't do nothing about it. So direct impact, whether it's the joy of a satisfied customer, the successful launch of a product you've poured your heart into, or the achievement of a key milestone, every success is a testament to your hard work, vision, and dedication. Check? Yeah. I ain't gonna get too much into that because that's facts. Potential tax benefits. This is one that I stress on very much. Owning a business not only opens the door to financial growth, but also provides access to potential tax benefits that employees typically don't have. As a business owner, You can take advantage of deductions for a wide range of expenses directly related to running your business, such as equipment, travel, advertising, and professional services. Meaning, like it says, such as equipment, travel, advertisement, and professional services. So if you gotta buy something, you could get that as a write-off. If you gotta travel for business reasons, you could get that as a write-off. If you marketing and advertising your business to a level, that could be a write-off. Personal services. If you operate from home, you may also be able to claim a portion of your home office costs, including utilities, rent, or mortgage interest as business expenses, which is a write-off. Like when I was younger, I didn't used to understand why businesses used to get like business write-offs or tax write-offs and them things. But now that I'm old, I understand it wholeheartedly. As a business owner, like I say, you solving a problem for the customer, you creating jobs for your employees, you making money, which is stimulating the economy of your country. All of these things is positive because you being such a positive impact on the economy, helping the GDP of your country grow. That is why the government or whatever tax entity does provide all these tax benefits to business owners, because it's like, okay, because you're doing so much for the people, we could do a little to help you too, because we know it ain't easy for you to do for all these people. So we could give you a little break here, a little break there. Understand what's going on. This is what's going on here. This is what's going on around us. So yeah, I can move on. Like I talk about earlier, leaving a legacy. For many entrepreneurs, a prospect of building something that can be passed down to their children or leaves a meaningful and lasting impact on the community is a powerful motivator. For me, for sure, like I just talk about a lot, generational wealth. Generational. When I look at Oliki Farms, it ain't just about me. And that's why the name and all ain't just my name. It's creatively combined to be. Look, let me just say like this. With me, everything is premeditated. Everything is thought of. My brains does work. I just make sure down to the smallest detail I put mine into it. Good. So me, I believe in this, leaving a legacy, because what? I would believe other people would want to be look back on them after they pass and say, "Bah, yeah, boy, look what Oliver do, look what Rita do, look what Misha do." Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. Building a personal brand. Starting your own business creates a unique opportunity to establish yourself as a recognized expert in your field. By consistently delivering value through your product, services, and insights, you naturally build credibility and become a go-to authority in your industry. Building your personal brand. People now recognize you as an expert in the field, as somebody that they could look to or trust when they think about anything in that industry. A good example, me with agriculture right now, people are look for me to the point I'd be checking, like, people only think on me like I know agriculture alone, and show them like I know business, I know a lot of other things, but is the credibility that you craft, that's the trust, that brand loyalty that they talk about, recognition, brand recognition, all of that is where this come from. Yeah. So yeah, leadership, being a good leader. Like I say, job satisfaction, like I talk about, is the last one. and yeah, have a conclusion. So, like I say, great articles, great articles. I only the come with good things for you. Let me just make that clear. So, I had this here to go through, but I'm not going to go through it. This is an article about the 7 elements of a business plan. This is important if you want to create your own business. Let me say you have an idea and you want to bring it to life. A business plan is very important. In my opinion, which, okay, shifting gears a little bit, some months ago, I did this presentation, which, like I mentioned, it was geared towards agriculture. I was giving a presentation to persons interested in starting agricultural businesses. So this presentation was geared specifically towards agriculture, but I would say probably, let me say most of it is transferable to any business. Maybe only the parts where I talk about like the agricultural sector is specific. Everything else is transferable. Like I talk about business planning, I talk about market research, I talk about finding ways to fund your business. I talk about, like I say, in the farm, I talk about setting up the farm, but setting up your business. Like I said, it literally interchangeable. Operations and management, marketing and sales, challenges, different things. So I would say you could go check out this whole presentation I did on my YouTube channel as well under credits agri loan presentation. I have the whole presentation and it's divided by chapters. So each of these, if you want to just go to business planning, you could click on business planning and go straight to that. Good. But in this, I talked about in the business planning section, I talked about these same elements that I was just showing you. So the business plan elements, the 7 core elements of a business plan are the executive summary, the company description, your products and services, so what you're going to bring to the market analysis, which is like understanding the market that you're trying to get into or going into. Marketing strategy, meaning how you're going to market your company, meaning like what you're going to do to get people to know about your business. And then, of course, the financials and your budgeting and those things. So like I say, great content here as well. I have the whole presentation on my YouTube channel. Pero going back to this article, 7 elements of a business plan. Like I said, the link will be shared in the description. But it basically has more detailed information about the same points or the same elements that I shared in my presentation, which is the executive summary. So you see it's your business blueprint, so like a breakdown. Sorry, not a breakdown, like a quick glance. The company description is a more breakdown. So more than just the business. The market analysis, sorry, know your terrain, meaning know the market you're getting yourself into. Number 4, the organization and management. So structuring your business, how you going to have your structure. Services and product line, which is your products and services, what you're going to offer. Marketing and sales strategy, meaning how you're going to market your business, how will you promote your business, sales tactics, customer engagement, all these things. And then number 7, your financial projections, mapping your future. So your profit and loss projections, your cash flow forecast, meaning just giving, whether you're funding the places you're looking for funding or whoever, giving them an idea of how much you foresee you're going to make from starting this business. So if you are a business owner or somebody aspiring to start a business plan is very important. Like Ida say, having a business plan gives you a full breakdown of your business before you even start. Once you pull out your business plan in detail, you know everything about your business before you even start, down to who you're going to sell to, down to how much you're going to sell your product for, how much money you're going to make a month before you even start, who you're going to have as your employees. So in my presentation for the credits course, I stressed on the importance of a business plan. And like I say, I stressed on when you complete your business plan, detail as possible, you know your business before you even start. And that is so powerful. It ain't even funny. Like literally, it's like you could go in your business plan and just pull out whatever you need to pull out and give it. Or a good example, maybe like you see company websites. A lot of times, most of the things is like straight out of business plan, like the vision or the mission of the company and all them things. Straight out of business plan, you know. So if you're interested in learning more about a business plan, check out this article, sorry. But if you want to dive more deeper into it, in my credits agri loan session, like I say, I have the presentation on my channel. You could get some more detailed information about what it is, what's the importance. I even talk about a checklist that credits created, which I went through and I find is very complete. You know, in my opinion, you follow that checklist, you transfer it into business plan format, you got your whole business. You know, just saying. Anyways, like I said, I'm not going to get into the business plan elements. I'll share this article in the chat. What I will get into is this base, buy, and sell. So I know I got a few minutes left until my closing, but I just want to get into like how I talk about buying established businesses. So this biz buy and sell is mainly focused in the US, but I can touch on it. I can dabble in it, go into it. So you could get a visual or you could see some businesses that for sale and get the idea of how it'll work, what it looks like. Let me say all these things. Before I go into biz buy and sell, I have one local that caught my attention months ago. And when I decided to put together the content for this episode, I said, let me go look for it because it's a great one. So this one here from Century 21 St. Martin, that's a real estate company here in St. Martin. They have an offering of a Simpson Bay restaurant business for sale. For $341,000, you could have your own turnkey business. Great. Some pictures of the area. They didn't really have much. I didn't want to go into the all photos, but they ain't got no pictures of the actual business of what like aerial view of the area, the complex it's in. If you want to send a message or if you want to find out information, you could do that quick right here. But this is what I wanted to get to. Simpson Bay Fine Dining Restaurant for sale. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a restaurateur. It's located on the main road with access to over 200 to 300 residences within walking distance. A commercial plaza and offers plenty of parking, high walking traffic in the evening. Fine dining ready to operate. Restaurant with 200 capacity inside and outside for sale on the main road. This is a turnkey business for sale in prime location with plenty of parking. Currently operating with high capacity. There is huge potential to double the turnover, and without giving exact numbers, the monthly gross income is in the 6 figures. The owner wants to retire. So understand what is here saying. Monthly, this business grossing over 6 figures. 6 figures is 100,000. Let me just clarify that. So over 100,000, this business generating. Keep in mind, they're selling it for 341,000. Good. So it's selling for 341,000, but it's generating gross over 100,000. 6 figures. Good. Now gross. Keep in mind, you gotta account for expenses. So you gotta pay your rent. You gotta pay your employees. You gotta pay your taxes. You gotta pay whatever different expenses you have. You got to make sure you get your products, so whatever inventory you need to bring in so you could keep things selling. You got to keep that in mind. But if you're making over 100,000 and let me say your expenses is, let me say 80, just for a high number, you're still making 200,000 after everything for yourself. That's for you. Because keep in mind, like I said, after business expenses, that entails your rent, your personnel, so paying your employees, your stocks, all of these different things, utilities, all these different things is encapsulated under business expenses. Good. So understand, if your business expenses is 80,000 and you're making 100,000 a month, the monthly gross income is in the 6 figures. So keep in mind, in the 6 figures, not 100,000, it's more than that, but just for good round numbers. If you're making 100,000 a month and your expenses, business expenses is 80,000, that means 20,000 is going into your pocket. Now, you got to make sure pay. Let me say if you take a loan, you got to make sure pay your loan. And my recommendation is pay more. So if it's 4,000, I would pay 5. Especially being as now I got 20,000 coming in at the end of the month that I wasn't having before. I could close my eyes and live off of even minimal, but you could take out 5,000 out of that, pay your bill to keep your business running, and then you still have 15,000. I don't recommend you to go spend that. I recommend you to manage your money well, and you got ways to do that. Let me just say, but yeah, look, prime location in Simpson Bay, and me being from here, I could tell you, Simpson Bay is prime location. You want a restaurant, you want it in Simpson Bay. I'm telling you, 200 seating in good condition, including interior and terrace. So, like I say, indoor and outdoor, 200 seating. So think on it this way: you got 200 people. If you're selling them $20 a plate, keep in mind now, this is a fine dining establishment, so it's way more than $20. But if you're selling them $20 a plate, that's done. Once you at full capacity, 4,000 right there. That's in one night. That's in one day or 1 hour. Once you keep in the place turning over, yeah, good. So, like I say, your earning potential is whatever you want to make it. Yeah. Fully equipped kitchen in excellent condition, and you get a club license. So for sure, you're probably getting a business license. You're probably getting a liquor license with it because they probably got liquor selling too. I ain't sure, most probably. And you're getting a club license. If you want to open a club, you could be a club in the night too. That's more revenue for you. Jesus in heaven. For $341,000 US. But now, that is a great buy. And yeah, they got more information about, if you want to calculate how much you'll have to pay or whatever. You got about the broker that dealing with it and all that good stuff, but great opportunity. Like I say, in life, all you got to do is go do your due diligence, check it out, go see if it's as stunning and well kept as the leading on, but once you go there, if the place is in spick and span condition, you go through the numbers, the financial numbers, and they looking good. The people them in too much debt. The people them dealing with the money and they paying the expenses. Good. Once it's a good sound buy it. Cause you see huge potential. Yeah. Like I say, the simplest way to divulge or understand how huge your potential is, it's selling for 341,000. So let me just round it up, 350,000, and it's generating over $100,000 a month. A month. So even if you're taking your 20,000, or let me say you decide, you know what? I've been living without this business for all these amount of years. I can take the extra 20,000 and put it back into the loan instead of taking it. That's 20,000 every month. Within 10 months, you don't pay 200,000. Of course, they're gonna have interest involved, so things will just be 250,000, but gosh, golly. Within a year, if you move if you move frugal, you could buy that back, pay off everything, buy that back twice within 2 years. Good. Moving on, they had a next one here, another business, same from Century 21. It's a Martin Beach Bar business for sale on Phillipsburg Boardwalk. This one is a good buy too. They don't have the thing because the aftermarket is already sold, but it would be a good buy because it's a good establishment. Once the numbers was good, it would be a great thing. The location, all right. I can't brag about the location. For sure, Simpson Bay restaurant way better than Tongue Boardwalk. Because Tongue now is focused on cruise ships. Once cruise ships in there, things most probably dead in your business. But a good buy nevertheless. But just so you could get an idea of how it has be. And in order to give a breakdown of what a business is, what you're getting when you buy, so what assets they offering and things. Also, Keller Williams is another real estate company. They also have some commercial businesses they have for sale. Honestly, personally, I don't like much of them. But anyways, I know I done over 9, but I just want to give one quick show of this biz buy and sell because this is something I personally do a lot of research on because being as I was living in Miami, I was looking into buying an established business back in Florida. Checking like buy. I had like living in Miami, I'd be checking like buy. I don't want to go back. And if I'm making money up there, if money generating up there, then that's a positive. I could go when I want. So the thing is, a lot of people, when they're doing this, when they're buying established business, most times the thing for them to run the business anyway. Most times when people do this and buy these established business, they just end up hiring a general manager one time. So when they buy it, they hire a general manager. So when they training the general manager too. And then they just have the general manager running the business. And then now it's like hands-off business. Money generating every month from the start. And really and truly, you don't have to be there running it and doing the day-to-day. You could just come, shed some light, take a look, make sure everything running good. And then, yeah. So me personally, I'll be straight up with I was checking like I'll buy a business. Of course, one recession proof and pandemic proof and all those things. So that was part of my, let me say, criteria or filtering when I was looking. And I say like, man, it would be nice for me to get a nice steady business up there running. I know I got cash flow up there. But now I could still live in St. Martin, do my thing down here, have my business down here too, and when I ready, or if need be, I fly up. Maybe quarterly I fly up, or monthly I go up and check on my business up there, make sure everything running good. And basically, this is what I do. I went on this same website because they got other ones. They have other websites that you could buy established business, which I did plan to show like a Google page with different ones, but essence of time. So let me just say I had put South Florida, or let me say Miami. Let me say Miami, and then you get Miami, Fort Lauderdale area. So it could be Orlando. Matter of fact, let me do Orlando instead. Let me do Orlando. Maybe we like Orlando. We check in. We gonna do Orlando, and you could go in here and you could like, let me say, if you want to be in a specific field, you could go in here and you could choose what field. So let me say if you want to do restaurants, you could choose that specifically and you get only restaurant type business. Or let me say maybe you use a taxi, you want to do transportation, or maybe storage, you interested in dealing with storage spaces. Anything, you could hone it down. They have financial services, healthcare and fitness, education, communication, a lot of different things, automotive and both, agriculture. That's probably one I would go. But when I did it, I do all industries because you want to get an idea of what's available. And yeah, so you could get an idea of, this is just to get an idea of how it'll look when you're going to check out what business is for sale, and to see like, okay, if you find one that interesting, make sure you do your due diligence, check it out, contact them if you're really interested. Usually the process is they'll have you sign an NDA, so a non-disclosure agreement, and then once you do that, then they'll start sharing the information with you, so like the financials and these different things, so you could get an idea of the business. But yeah, you see, even this website trying to give you advice on buying the right business. But yeah, anyways, I know for sure these look a little high. Let me just bring down the price range a little bit. We ain't got 4 million and a million to spend. So save. Shoot. That's around it. That's why, okay. 500 and then okay, now we talking. Price. So yeah, it'll give you all this information too. If you want to put in a keyword, let me say you want to look for a specific type of business or a specific brand, like you say FedEx, or if you got a specific type of company you're looking for, you could type it there. You could hone it down, filter out. You could say, okay, you want a specific gross revenue and specific cash flow. They have, normally I used to go here and do this, like must have seller financing and must allow absentee owner. Sometimes I used to put must have real estate included, but that's because me, I like ownership. If I can buy a business, I want to ground it standing on to check. But yeah, to get an idea, let me just throw that in. I'm trying to get this price range thing to come. Okay, good. So it can come down. Bam, apply. Good. Technology does do what I want. Anyways, what? Only one thing they got for that price. You know what? Let me change Orlando, because Orlando ain't giving me Miami. That's why I love Miami. Because I promise you, look. So Orlando gave us a bad show, but as you could see, if you don't even have to be in Miami. Look, this is Amazon and Walmart online business. So that a thing too. Some of them is online business you could buy. So let me say you pay these people 95,000, yeah, you're gonna have other fees involved. But then one time you're gonna get an operation that generated 65,000 a month. This cash flow does be a month. Good. And yeah, you get a whole operation, you get a client, everything streamlined. Look at next one, turnkey Airbnb business, 10 cash flowing units in prime Miami location. So this is like somebody selling you 10 units for Airbnb business. Rightfully, it's probably not the ownership of the units, it's probably the rights to Airbnb them out as a business. So some people, they make a business of that too. They know that some Airbnb hosts, so the person who have the property that posts it on Airbnb, they know that some of them don't have the time to manage the properties or manage the the listings, let me say, so manage when people decide they're going to buy and so on, so they just hire a Airbnb management. So Airbnb turnkey, Airbnb business, that's usually what that would be. You would be a person who maybe you reach out to different Airbnb hosts and you tell them, okay, well, look, you could pay me a certain fee and I'll manage your properties for you. And that's your business. You get paid every month for making sure everything runs smoothly with the Airbnb rents. You got a Latin restaurant for sale in Hialeah for 60,000. Established turnkey telehealth business for sale. So that says a lot. And you see, it costs 100,000 and it's generating 80,000. Profitable online academy for sale. Under contract, extremely profitable pizzeria, net 220K. That's the cash flow. They got dry cleaning business for 180,000, cash flow 150, 105. Sorry. So just think of it this way. If you decide, okay, I want to get into the dry cleaning business, you have 2 storefront locations or licenses, so you could get 2 storefront. That they already have opportunity for growth. So let me say you're checking, okay, it costs 180,000, maybe after all the different administrative fees and all these things, let me say it come up to 200,000 after lawyer, legal fees and everything, notary, all these things. Yeah, that one catch my attention there. Self. Ray say he got some land to sell in Anguilla from himself. And see if yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting. Telling you. Anyways, that is surely is interesting. Anyway, no basically, like I say, this year is a great buy because now once you pay your 180,000 plus whatever fees included, like I say, for example's sake, we're going to say is 20,000 on top of the 80 to make it 200. Round numbers. We like round numbers. Once you pay your 200,000, you go through your documentation. Of course, you had to do your due diligence first. You know, got a business that generating $105,000 a month cash flow. Of course, you gotta deal with your business expenses. So let me say it's 105. Let me say maybe it's a good business. It only got, I don't know, it's a dry cleaning. You got a lot of equipment. So I'll hit you 75,000. I would have said 80 again. I wanted to give a lower number by checking that with that type of business. But yeah, you got money generating from the start. So now that paying itself off. Let me just say like that, you know. So they got a lot of different things. They got tint world, a tint automotive styling business. They got a established global CBD brand selling. So for those who not familiar, CBD is like cannabis industry. Another Italian restaurant. This one significantly more pricey. Well, it's on South Beach, so for sure. But I would say that the numbers looking good. You know, once you go deeper, directly on Lincoln Road. That is great location. You see, one of the best locations in the heart of South Beach. I used to live in Miami, so I could tell you. And that's why I used to look at Miami, Fort Lauderdale area businesses, because it's like I know the area. I know what's good in those areas. So I could see these things and say like I could watch this and say, okay, that'll be a good buy. I check once I do my due diligence and check out the finances, the balance sheets, the income statements, and so on. I good to go, you know. Pigtails and crew cuts, that's obviously hairstyle in place. Miami smoke shop for sale. Highly profitable mosquito control franchise. Even mosquito control. Ay, ay, ay. Everything, whatever you want. Somebody probably don't have the business. So you might not have to start the business. You could just look for an established business. Maybe you're knowledgeable in the field of pizzerias. Maybe you've been working in a pizzeria all your life and you say, you know what, instead of me being an employee all my life, I can own a pizzeria. But instead of just starting up one, you see, okay, well, let me say a pizzeria that they have here already established going out of business, or they selling for whatever reason. And it'll be various reasons. Maybe people decide they want to retire. Maybe the owners are more senior, so they decide, you know, they're going to sell the business, retire, take the money, just live their life. Or maybe it might be somebody checking, you know what, they do good in this industry, but now they've been working on another business adventure that now they're checking this one way better and they want to focus on that. So they gotta leave this one go. So a lot of times it'll be opportunity, because it's like it's positive for you. And a lot of times the seller will be motivated to sell. So you to end up gaining because they want to get rid of it. Not because it's no good, but because they're checking like buy for whatever reason, for whatever personal or professional reason. These people checking buy. I gotta let this go. This is my baby. This is my brainchild, but I gotta give it up for adoption. And hopefully the next person who going to take ownership is going to treat it with care and love, just like how I did, you know. And that's a whole gist of this thing, you know. So it's like, what you want to do? That's the question. And this is how my wrap up and start. What you want to do with yourself? Obviously, you probably got some business idea that you aspire to start. So you probably wouldn't even jump on this episode, to be factual, you know. But what you going to do? What you going to do now? Whether you're going to start your own business from scratch, and trust me, that they'll have a lot of benefits as well. I wouldn't discourage you from starting your business from scratch, but trust me, it got a lot of benefits with buying an established business too. So it's now for you to decide. Maybe you have an idea already, start developing it. Or maybe you don't have an idea, or you don't have a business opportunity that you know would be lucrative, but you say, you know what, I want to be a business owner. I want that ownership in my life. Maybe you could start looking into buying an established business. Check. And trust and believe, these articles I share and more going to help you, guide you down that road, whichever route you decide you want to take. But trust me, I can always advocate for business ownership and entrepreneurship. Always, always. Nothing better than owning your own thing. Nothing better than that. Like Ida say, Ida dance to the beat of my own drum. Straight up. And that's the flexibility and control that entrepreneurship allows you. You don't gotta worry about waking up 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning because the boss can be on your tail. And you gotta make sure you be on location for 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock because the boss can be in your tail. And you don't gotta worry about, oh yeah, if I come 15 minutes late or 10 minutes late, the boss can want to dock my pay. No. You have full control over your destiny. Now, granted, you have to make sure you take leadership and you actually manage that full control well. Don't feel like, I got full control, I could do whatever I want, and then you just do whatever you want haphazardly and just throw yourself down to the ground. But no, for sure, I can always advocate for having your own and owning your own. And that's a journey I'm on right now. So, of course, like I always say, bringing you on my journey with me. Straight up. Like I say right now in a course, I don't put in my mind, like after I done the course, all over podcast, and hear about it. But wait, I actually had talked about it when I started. But yeah, good stuff. I've been really learning and networking with great people. To check, and yeah, that's what it's all about. Cause like I say, for me, a lot of things I learning in that class I don't knew already, but you're never too old to learn, and you could strengthen things you don't have a good foundation on. So even though you know it, that mean you can know it better. Let me put it like that. So like I say, I believe in lifelong learning, but also, like I say, business, entrepreneurship is where it's at. I talk about the benefits, talk about some disadvantages, a lot of different things I talk about today. You see, I gone over time drastically. But so I go. I had to give you this information straight up. God put this on my heart to share this. That's the inspiration I was inspired with to share this inspiration with you. So you don't know, love alone. I hope this content was great, not just good. I hope it was great. I hope it inspired you to say, you know what? Let me lace up my boots and get my thing going and not wait till the right time. Because the right time is right now. Check. Yes, Ray. Blessings. Thank you. Yes, it is late, and especially in Amsterdam. Hi. Woo. But yeah, thanks for joining. Appreciate you for joining from all the way in Amsterdam. And yeah, I hear wrapping up anyway. So love alone to all you. Yeah, this has been All Over It podcast episode 16, where I talk all about business. I talk about starting your own business, buying an established business, benefits and setbacks of both, a lot. I even show you some good examples. So if you want, you could go on Biz Buy and Sell right now and say, yeah, I want to buy a business. Or you could say, you know what? That Simpson Bay restaurant, all of our show is looking good. Let me check it out. You could check out right now. Yeah. That's love. That's love. That's love. But yeah. Thank you to everyone that joined. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the comments, the likes, the everything, just the eyes. Yeah, because like I say, I appreciate you taking the time out for joining because you didn't have to, you choose to. So I appreciate you, especially in this day and age. Everybody's so busy. Life is such a hustle and bustle. I appreciate you for taking the time and showing support. That's love, you know. So yeah, as usual, I welcome you and I thank you. As usual, like I say, we growing. I am not going to stop growing. I am going to keep this consistency going. And yeah. Big up yourself on time, my brother. Yeah. Okay, good. People in the place, big dogs in the place. Yeah. But yeah, you don't know. You don't know. We growing things. We elevating. We trying to grow just like the trees that is talk about, just like the agriculture that is talk about the plants and things. We growing just like that, from seed to a big humongous tree, 3, 4, 5 stories tall. Yeah, type of it. You know, so we growing. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check, I really on a mission to get the YouTube channel to 1,000 subscribers. So like and subscribe. But you don't know. Shout out to everybody who joined. Like I say, today was another installment of the All Over It podcast financial literacy series. We talk about business. Next week, big announcement, breaking news. Next week, we're going to have a big episode. First interview on the All Over It podcast. Big things popping, little things flapping. We growing. We stopping. Straight up. So just know, we're doing things next week. I don't think you want to miss it. We're going to be talking all about dividends. Dividends strictly. I self been on my dividends investing journey, but this person I bringing on been living off of dividends alone. Understand? No salary. He ain't on a business. His asset is dividends he invested in. Yeah. Straight. Well, let me not say no capital, no assets. Let me not say no assets. That's a far-fetched statement. But just know, next week gonna be a good one. I don't think you want to miss it. Tell a friend to tell a friend if they want to learn about dividends. Check out next week episode. Tune in. You don't want to miss it from the start. I don't even think I'll do a motivational message. You can just get right into it so I could give you all that content. Because I know it's gonna be good. I know he coming with something good. I don't got idea. So I'm telling you. Hint. Good stuff coming. But yeah, I don't know. Love alone. We elevating. Next week we doing our first interview. Big news. Bap. Shots firing. Yeah, but you don't know. It's love. I really appreciate all you. And yeah, I think I'm about to close off. I hear long enough. I get a whole extra 30 minutes. But yeah, love all you. Have a blessed night forward. And yeah, have a blessed week. And just remember, we uncovering it all here with All Over It podcast. Check me next week. Don't